morning. Thanks so much for joining us on Wake Up Charlotte to Go. I'm Carolyn Brooke.
And I'm Ben Thompson. Happy November, everybody. Here's hoping you had a wonderful Halloween weekend. We'll get to a bunch of news coming up in just a minute. But first, let's go ahead and start with Larry Spriggle. And he has got a cold morning.
It definitely is. It's clear skies, but definitely a chilly morning. We take a look at that hour by hour forecast. By 11 o'clock this morning, 47 degrees. In the afternoon, only in the low mid-50s, sunshine, blue skies, right around 8 o'clock, 45 degrees. And notice, midnight temperature, 40 degrees. It is going to be a cold night tonight, dropping to about 33 at Albemarle, 35 at Rock Hill, about the same here in the Queen City, 33 at Statesville, close to 30 at Boone. So a cold night ahead. Let's check your 7-day forecast, take into the upcoming weekend. In the mid-50s today, election day, looking all right, 65 degrees, although it's going to be cold tomorrow morning. Upper 60s near 70 Wednesday and Thursday. We're in the low 70s as we head towards the end of the week and right into the upcoming weekend. And that is your first one forecast.
Larry, thanks so much. Turning to more of today's top stories in your morning rush.
Good Monday morning. I'm Richard Vane here at Sharon Road Elementary School, one of the many schools in the CMS district that will welcome back thousands of elementary school students K through 5. The groups they're split into two groups, I should say. Groups A, which has class today and tomorrow. Every student in the CMS district will have remote learning on Wednesday. And then on Thursday and Friday, groups B will come to school. The school district says it's prepared for the welcoming back of these students because they've practiced social distancing. They have proper safety protocols in place to ensure that every student gets safe and effective education.
Today, elementary school students in Kannapolis will head back to classroom full-time as well. Plan A goes into effect today, which means face-to-face instruction 5 days a week. Families did have the option to stick with remote learning if they didn't want their kids to return to school.
We are just one day out from the presidential election. Candidates are making their final push to voters right here in the Tar Heel state. President Trump held a rally in Hickory last night, attracting thousands of supporters. He's scheduled to hold yet another rally in Fayetteville later this morning. Yesterday, Vice President Mike Pence attended a church service in Boone with evangelist Franklin Graham. Senator Kamala Harris made stops in Goldsboro and Fayetteville as well.
Today, the last day to vote early in South Carolina. You have until 5 p.m. today to turn in your absentee ballot in person if you want to get it done before Election Day. Several polling places saw long lines over the weekend. This is video from an early voting site off South Anderson Road in Rock Hill. More than 1.2 million ballots have already been cast across the state.
Good morning. I'm Billie Jean Shaw in South Charlotte. This morning we're breaking down on when you will learn the official winner of the 2020 election. It really depends on which state you live in. In North Carolina, state election officials will meet on November 24th to declare a winner. And in South Carolina, state election officials will meet on November 10th. So keep in mind, those winners that are announced on Election Day are only projections. It really comes down to the hard numbers and hard data.
Good morning, everybody. A lot of you are telling us you're concerned about safety when it comes to voting at the polls in person. One of the questions that I'm seeing a lot is, do I have to wear a face mask in order to vote? So let's get this answered for you and walk you through some other safety tips that the CDC is recommending ahead of Election Day. In North Carolina, you do not have to wear a mask, but the Board of Elections is encouraging it. They're even going to provide some at your polling locations in case you forget yours or it breaks and you need another one. The CDC says having one on is the right thing to do and also advises that you still maintain your 6 feet of social distancing even if you have that mask on. Other safety reminders are to wash your hands before and after you vote. Use hand sanitizer after you touch things like the door when you get back in your car. If you are taking a bus or the light rail to get to your polling location, they recommend choosing a window seat and seeing if you can get that window to roll down to have some fresh air, and also avoid touching things as much as possible. You may want to bring your own hand sanitizer because polling locations, if they run out, you'll have it then. And then also, in case there are some long lines, pack a water, trail mix, granola bar to hold you over so that you make sure you're able to stay in that line and cast your ballot. Send us any other questions or concerns at 704-329-3600 or leave them right here below in the comments section. Guys.
Good information to know. Again, polling places. Ben, you reminded people.
Yeah.
It's not the early voting spots in North Carolina anymore. You have specific precincts.
Because we did all these stories about how cool it was to go to the stadium and the arena and all these cool places. Those are not
happening anymore.
Those are not your precincts.
No.
Your precinct's often like a nearby library, that's not
church.
too far, a church nearby your house. That's where you can look. And by the way, we can look up that information on WCNC.com/vote. Time now to connect the dots when we make the news make sense. With this recent surge in coronavirus cases, experts say it's extra important to wear a mask and remain socially distant. But there could be an upside to all of it.
There could be a silver lining to the rise in coronavirus cases. It could speed up the arrival of a vaccine. Let's connect the dots. Researchers around the world are frantically working to develop a vaccine, with a few now in the final trials. A researcher at Cincinnati's Children's Hospital said this new rise in cases could help speed up that final trial. That's because during that stage, they take thousands of volunteers and inject some of them with the vaccine candidate and the others with a placebo. They then wait to see if the vaccine group develops less infections than the placebo group. If coronavirus is spreading rapidly among populations where the vaccines are being tested, the volunteers are more likely to be exposed to the virus and will be able to know sooner whether the vaccine worked. But even with this accelerated pace, experts say most of us should not expect to get access to a vaccine till sometime in 2021. And that is Connecting the Dots.
And make sure you watch us each and every morning starting at 4:30 on Wake Up Charlotte. It's going to be a fun couple of days. Let's call it that.
Interesting week.
Yes.
Interesting week.